Overpaying for anything sucks, especially socks, so why pay $45 for a single pair of grip socks when you can spend less than half? Pure Grip Socks Pro feature our best materials for optimal fit, moisture wicking, and performance at a fair price, just $16.99 a pair at puregripsocks.com.
Whenever I review a pair of football boots, I always try to compare it to its main competitors, and the reason for this is because you have to consider your alternatives, because at the end of the day, football boots are all about personal preference. So even though you might like the Nike product, the Adidas or Puma product might work out better for you. However, in the case of this particular pair of football boots, it has no competition. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nike Tiempo Legend 9 Elite, seen here in the Recharge Pack colorway, which was actually unveiled back in November of 2021, but is just now in stock at most retailers due to what I can only assume are supply chain shortages that seem to be affecting so many products these days. Nonetheless, this is Nike's top-end Tiempo offering, featuring a kangaroo leather upper, retailing for $230, and in comparison to its main competition from Adidas and Puma, it blows them out of the water. And that's not just because they have ACC. Wow, check out this string bag. That's cool. I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with the Nike Tiempo series over the last several generations, but I think the more simplified direction Nike have gone in with the 9th Tiempo Legend was definitely for the better, and as a whole, this product kind of stands on its own in terms of what it offers for how much it costs. So if you're interested in learning more about what I think makes the Tiempo so good and so unique compared to its competition, please stick around and watch the entire review. We'll go over all the details, including how they fit and feel on feet. And if you are by chance interested in a pair for yourself, you can pick them up below their normal retail price by way of some exclusive SR4U coupon codes by checking out the first link down below. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe for reviews on all the latest football boots of 2022. So first things first, let's discuss the Tiempo Legend 9's main competition, starting with Adidas, where you have the modern Copa series with the Copa Sense Plus and the Copa Sense Point 1. The Sense Plus is kind of its own thing, being the fact that it is a laceless pair of football boots, so if you're into those, you're probably not into these. However, I will say that I much prefer the Tiempo Legend 9 from a touch, feel, and overall comfort standpoint. Also, the Copa Sense Point 1, it looks like a more traditional take on the Copa Sense concept. However, it is wildly disappointing, not very comfortable, incredibly stiff, a very small amount of what is honestly subpar quality kangaroo leather, and honestly, just not a very good pair of football boots for how much they cost. And then from Puma, you have the King Platinum 21, which is less expensive, retailing for $200, and they honestly look like a decent pair of football boots. On paper, you'd think they're pretty good. However, similar to the Copa Sense Point 1, super disappointing. Kangaroo leather does not feel up to par compared to other options that are out there, even less expensive ones, and honestly, they're football boots that don't fit that great, feel surprisingly clunky, and I just wouldn't really recommend them to anybody. The only true alternative that would be worth your time and money is the Made in Japan Mizuno Rebula Cup, which I have here. It retails for significantly more at $300, although they do have a Made in Indonesia version that unfortunately, at least at this point in time, is only available in European and Asian markets, so availability is not the best on those. However, when you compare it to the Tiempo Legend, while you have kangaroo leather with a memory foam element, there's less kangaroo leather here, even though the quality is that little bit better. It's a comfortable football boot, it fits really well. I love this Soleplate and stud pattern, but given the choice, and even given how much I love Made in Japan Mizuno products, I would personally pick the Tiempos over the Rebulas. The only other option you might want to consider is actually in the first takedown model of the Legend 9 Elite, in the Legend 9 Pro. It retails for $100 less at $130 and doesn't feature a kangaroo leather upper. However, it has pretty much everything else, and what you do get is a pretty good quality calfskin material that once broken in, if I'm being really honest, you're gonna have a hard time telling the difference between the two. So with all that out of the way, what makes the Legend 9 Elite so great? And I think the answer to that question comes down to the fact that for a modern pair of football boots, the Legend 9s are relatively simple. Seen here in this platinum kind of light gray, almost off-white color that scatters the entire upper is a kangaroo leather material. It's soft, it's flexible, it's incredibly comfortable, and it offers a touch that only kangaroo leather can provide. It also spans the majority of the upper, including the entire medial side of the midfoot, which I think plays a huge part in giving you that true leather experience. So many modern day leather football boots don't have leather through the midfoot. I just feel like that's a giant mistake. And you can see there's a large cutout here on the lateral side, backed by a synthetic material. This adds a significant amount of structure and honestly makes these feel much more locked down and secure than I think you'd expect from most full leather football boots. Nonetheless, that kangaroo leather is accented by some memory foam inserts scattered throughout the upper that just give a little bit of an additional dampened effect without making the boots feel too bulky or taking away from making that kangaroo leather the star of the show. And they've also added some dimpled texturing through the forefoot and here on the midfoot for additional grip, although I'll be honest, it's super minor and you probably won't feel it on the ball at all. And that's it. There's nothing else going on. It's a classic kangaroo leather upper for the sake of comfort and feel, and it's modern reinforcement due to lining materials and potentially strategic placement of synthetics that make for a fit and lockdown experience that again is above average for what you'd expect from a full leather football boot. The laces run down the middle, and again, kind of a modern touch that you expect on most boots these days. It doesn't have a standalone tongue. It's kind of like a fixed tongue that creates a one-piece enclosure, even though you still have a more traditional looking lace hole system. This is made from an elasticated mesh material. It makes putting the boots on a little bit more tricky than it perhaps needed to be, but it's nice in that this doesn't slide from side to side, and it's got a nice amount of padding to where it does tend to match the feel of the rest of the boot. So it doesn't feel like it's overly thin across the top of your foot compared to the rest of the upper. Of course, you're gonna have a low cut design that is typical of every Tiempo we've seen so far. Internal plastic heel counter, plenty of padding through this synthetic microfiber heel lining material. Love the way that feels against your socks, also grips them quite nicely. Then the insole, fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. It features their Nike grip mesh lining on the surface, which is just regular mesh for the record. There's nothing grippy about this. I'm not sure why they put that there. And it's made from a single layer of this yellow foam with pour-on inserts through the forefoot and heel for additional cushion. You'll also notice that they put these thin strips of glue that isn't strong enough to actually hold the insole down, making it non-removable, but it is strong enough to help the insole from sliding around inside of the boots. A nice little detail that you won't see from most other brands. As a base, you're gonna find a Soleplate end stud pattern that is classic Tiempo with a hint of speed boot, in that you'll notice that there is a standalone stiffener bar running through the heel and midfoot with this kind of hard edge that does provide a decent amount of structure through the midfoot, but in general it still has a nice flexible feel through the forefoot. Not the same kind of snappy sensation you're gonna get from something like a pair of Mercurials, just more of a natural feel underfoot, which I think is very fitting for a football boot of this type. And then as far as the FG stud pattern is concerned, bladed studs in the heel, conical studs through the forefoot, some Mercurial-esque studs that Nike have managed to put on all of their football boots at this point at the tip of the toe, giving you really this nice blend of modern and classic feel as well as performance characteristics from one stud pattern. It's extremely well-rounded, and I don't see many people not enjoying the way this performs. And then there's the weight, where again, I think people have this idea about a leather football boot being heavy just due to all the marketing that's been pushed in our faces for the last 20 years as leather boots have become less and less popular, but that's not actually the case. The Legend 9 Elite is pretty much as light as the other top-end options from Nike. In a size 9.5 US, you can see that the Legend 9 Elite weighs in at 7.45 ounces, the equivalent of 211 grams, which if we're comparing this to their other models, it's like half an ounce more than a pair of Vapor 14 Elites and pretty much right on par with a pair of top-end Phantom GT2s. So from a weight perspective, these feel nice and light on feet. On feet, the Legend 9s are just super comfortable. The kangaroo leather is soft out of the box, softens up even more as you wear them in, and you'll also benefit from that little bit of stretch, giving you that custom fit the more that you wear them without ever feeling sloppy or like they're going to overstretch. There's a nice amount of structure through the midfoot, because of the way they strategically place that synthetic material kind of hidden behind the Nike swoosh. And in general, the lockdown with the laces tied tight, especially due to the fact that the laces run down the middle and it's nice and deep. There's plenty of adjustability and the boots just feel very secure on your feet. Again, kind of the best of both worlds in terms of having that modern feel, that lockdown, but also having that old school kangaroo leather comfort. Nike hit a really good balance with the Legend 9. As far as width is concerned, they have decent width to them. I'd go as far as to say that this is the widest offering from the main three lines from Nike right now. So if you do have wide feet, these will fit you quite comfortably. And in general, they're gonna work for just about any foot type. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US, and the fit and the length is perfect. So if you're looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, I can strongly recommend the Legend 9 Elite. It is my personal favorite top-end model from Nike at the moment, and if I were making a top 5 personal favorites list for all the boots that are currently available, this would definitely crack the top 5. If you're after a full kangaroo leather upper, not just leather at the toe, in a football boot that is well priced and performs the part, you cannot go wrong with the Legend 9 Elite, and I go as far as to say that it's probably the very best option out there.